Okay, can you clap real quick?
Ow! I clapped wrong.
I'm Jacob Gomez. I'm 17 years old and I'm about to be a senior in high school.
My name is Dimitri Gomez. I am 14 and I am in 8th grade going to 9th.
My name is Santi. I'm 10 and I'm in 4th grade.
What is math?
Math, I think math is like a combination of algorithms to find the right answer to different measurements of data.
Math is just answers to dumb problems that don't make sense.
It's like numbers, putting numbers on top of numbers to create bigger numbers.
What is art?
To me, art's like a way of expressing your emotions or thought processes through not just saying it in words, but there's a certain way of portraying your emotions and thought processes.
Art is something creative to get your emotions out or just have fun with.
Painting, drawing, that's it for me.
Can they be related?
No, no.
Maybe. I don't really see a way you could relate them. Maybe if you made like a drawing out of numbers or something like that, but I don't think there's a good correlation between the two.
No,
Why not?
because one is drawing and one is putting numbers on top of numbers.
What's your name and what do you teach here at UNM?
My name is Ross J. Cox, and I am a mathematical artist here at the UNM, and I teach a course called Math 1130. It is denoted as a survey of mathematics. So Math 1130 is a first-year course, and it's designed as a program to not only get students their math credit that they need who are in the humanities or the fine arts, but to also just show them real life situations of mathematics. You know, we do talk about some theoretical things like graph theory. Then we're given about a 2 to 3 week window to talk about a mathematical topic of our choice.
And that's mathematical art.
Yes, and so obviously as a practicing mathematical artist, I wanted to share my profession. And so yeah, we do about 2 to 3 weeks in Math 1130 to do mathematical art.
And what do you make the students do?
One of the projects that we have is there's an organization called the Bridges Organization. And it's basically an academic organization that has mathematical art as its main subject. So I get them to look through a whole bunch of past conferences and pick out their favorite piece. And then they have to do like a little report, I would say a 5-minute little report on that piece that they chose. So basically within the 2 to 3 weeks, I'll go through, mainly I start at the beginning, you know, how can you talk about mathematical art without the pyramids? We start with the pyramids and then we start to work our way through history. And periodically students will present a math piece of their choice. And we just have a lot of discussions about the intersection of math with art. I would say, it depends on the class, but I would say 2/3 of them normally have had a very negative experience with mathematics. So, like I said, that could vary on the class, but on average, it's pretty much 2/3 of the class has had a very negative experience with mathematics.
What's your least favorite class?
AP Calculus, because my teacher doesn't teach.
Math.
Math and art.
A bad experience, math related? Oh gosh. Yeah, so I had 2 pages of homework to do over the weekend in my Algebra 2 class, and I did 2 pages, but I didn't do the right 2 pages. So I came into class and gave him 2 pages of work, and he's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Well, you assigned 2 pages."
My
Any
worst
classes?
experience, oh my God, this one problem took me like the whole class period to do, and then I had the whole rest of the paper, and it was torture. It was horrible. It was so bad.
Probably accidentally getting a really easy problem wrong that I knew. Like, I thought of the number in my head. I knew it was right, but I said, like, a different number. Like, it was weird.
As I've talked with students about why they don't like mathematics, there's definitely two commonalities that happen, or pervasive reasons for why they have not liked mathematics. And that is, the first is we tend to teach mathematics devoid of all of the truth and beauty that we're striving for to find. We give it very algorithmically. You have x plus 5 equals 7, solve for x. It is a very mechanical process. There's a lot of robotics. Metaphorically, there's a lot of robotic actions that these students have to do. And so it just becomes a very dry subject, right? Something that doesn't have a lot of life to it, especially not being able to transfer it to real life. That's a big issue for a lot of students. When am I going to use this in real life?
If you had to combine math and art into one class, what kinds of things would you do in that class?
Like, you know how Desmos is a graphing calculator? You kind of make art out of using graphs on a calculator. If I had to do it, that's like my way of being able to mix art and math, is where you just
Maybe you could like have them do an equation that would lead to a color or something like that, kind of like the sheets that you'd get, and it would be like green is this answer, but you don't know what you have to do the thing, and then the box, and it'll be be the color.
You paint math equations and you solve them with paint as well.
What is the purpose of going to the art museum as a math class?
Yeah, so I explained it to my students this way, that you can study a rose, right? You can study its color, like what makes its color. You can study the photosynthesis that happens, how it gets its food, pollination, all of these different things, even the evolution of the rose. But if you don't stop and smell the rose, you can't fully appreciate it, right? And so coming to the UNM Art Museum is that smelling process, metaphorically. We talk about these things abstractly and on the teleprompter, but it's not until we get here and see this art that people actually it really strikes them.
Do you think you can have math without art or art without math?
It's a great question. I believe the answer is no. Both are connected, and how they're connected is something that I am still studying, something that if I answered right now, 5 years from now, if I looked at this interview, I probably would say, oh, I should have said this, or I should have tweaked this. But simplistically, I would say, no, you can't have one without the other.